What if I told you that the man who built NXT from the ground up, the cerebral assassin himself, Triple H, just got fired from WWE? Not retired. Not stepped down. Fired. And it all happened because he allegedly rigged one of the biggest matches of the year. Before we dive into this absolute chaos, smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our hardcore highlights breaking down the wildest moments in wrestling history. The wrestling world woke up to a bombshell that nobody saw coming. Triple H, the chief content officer of WWE, the man who's been steering the creative ship since Vince McMahon's departure, is reportedly out. Gone. And the reason? Sources are claiming he forced John Cena to lose against Gunther at Saturday night's main event, creating a backstage firestorm that ended with the game getting absolutely demolished in the corporate arena. Let me paint you the picture of what allegedly went down. Saturday night's main event made its triumphant return, and one of the marquee matches was John Cena vs. Gunther, the ring general himself. Now, if you've been paying attention to WWE over the past 2 years, you know Gunther has been an absolute wrecking machine. His Intercontinental Championship reign was legendary. The man defended that title for over 600 days, chopping chests and breaking spirits all across the WWE landscape. He's legitimate. He's dominant. And he's exactly the kind of wrestler that Triple H has been pushing since taking creative control. But here's where things get interesting. John Cena is in the twilight of his career. The man announced his retirement tour, and every match he has now carries monumental weight. Cena is a 16-time world champion, a cultural icon who transcended wrestling to become a Hollywood superstar, a Make-A-Wish legend who's granted more wishes than anyone in history. When John Cena steps in that ring, especially now, the story matters. The moment matters. And traditionally, you'd think a legend on their way out would get some respectful wins, right? Wrong. At Saturday night's main event, Gunther destroyed John Cena. And I don't mean in a competitive back-and-forth classic that could have gone either way. Sources are saying the match was booked to make Cena look outmatched, outdated, and completely unable to hang with the new generation. Gunther chopped Cena's chest into hamburger meat. He power-bombed him through the ring. He made the Cenation leader tap out or get pinned clean in the middle of the ring, depending on which report you believe. Either way, it was decisive. It was brutal. And it was, according to insiders, exactly what Triple H wanted. Now let's talk about why this matters. Triple H has been praised for his booking since taking over WWE Creative. He brought back legitimate wrestling storytelling. He elevated stars like Cody Rhodes, Gunther, and Rhea Ripley to main event status. He made the product feel important again. Long-term storytelling came back. Wrestling fans were actually happy for once. But here's the thing about Triple H that people sometimes forget: he's always been about his vision, his legacy, his way of doing things. And his way involves building up the future, even if it means tearing down the past. According to the reports circulating through the wrestling media ecosystem, Triple H made the call that Gunther needed this win more than Cena. He believed that decisively beating a legend like John Cena would cement Gunther as the next unstoppable force in WWE. It would add another layer to the ring general's aura. It would tell the world that the old guard is officially done, and the new generation is here to stay. On paper, that's solid booking. That's long-term thinking. That's exactly what wrestling needs. But apparently, not everyone agreed. And that's where this story goes from interesting to absolutely nuclear. Word started spreading backstage at Saturday night's main event that John Cena wasn't happy with how the match was laid out. Now, Cena's a company man through and through. He's done the job for everyone from The Rock to Roman Reigns to, hell, even the Nexus back in the day when nobody wanted him to. But this felt different. This was during his retirement tour, a time when the business traditionally shows respect to legends walking away. And instead of getting that moment, he was getting fed to Gunther like enhancement talent. But Cena being unhappy? That's not what got Triple H fired. What allegedly happened next is what detonated this entire situation. Reports claim that other top stars started questioning Triple H's decision-making. Names like Randy Orton, Seth Rollins, and even Roman Reigns allegedly went to management expressing concerns about how the match was booked and what it said about WWE's respect for its legends. These aren't just random guys on the roster. These are main eventers, locker room leaders, guys whose opinions carry weight. And when multiple top stars start pushing back on creative decisions, even the most powerful booker in the world has to answer for it. Then the real drama kicked in. According to multiple sources, WWE's parent company TKO and its executives got involved. Remember, WWE isn't just a wrestling company anymore. It's a publicly traded entertainment corporation with stockholders, brand deals, and corporate oversight. And John Cena isn't just a wrestler, he's a brand ambassador, a mainstream celebrity, and someone who brings eyes and dollars to everything he touches. When word reached TKO brass that Triple H had booked Cena to get squashed without apparently running it by the right people, alarm bells started ringing in the corporate offices. Here's where the story gets even wilder. Allegedly, there were heated meetings. Conference calls. Emergency sessions where Triple H had to defend his booking decision to executives who don't live and breathe wrestling the way he does. They wanted to know why you'd damaged the John Cena brand during his retirement tour. They wanted to know if this was personal, if there was history between Triple H and Cena that influenced the booking. They wanted answers, and apparently, the answers Triple H gave weren't good enough. Now let's address the elephant in the room. Triple H and John Cena have history. Back in the mid-2000s, there were legitimate tensions between them. Triple H was accused of burying younger talent and holding onto his spot at the top. Cena was the chosen one, the face of the company, and there were backstage stories about tension, politics, and egos clashing. They both said in interviews that they're past it, that they respect each other now, that time heals all wounds. But did it? Or did some old resentment resurface when Triple H had the book and the power to decide how John Cena's career would end? The rumor mill is absolutely churning right now. Some people are saying Triple H genuinely believed this was the right call for the business and that personal feelings had nothing to do with it. Others are saying this was vindictive, that Triple H finally had the chance to get his receipt for all the time Cena went over him or got chosen by Vince McMahon instead. And some people are saying this whole thing is being blown out of proportion, that Triple H isn't actually fired and this is all speculation. But here's what we know for sure. Multiple credible wrestling journalists are reporting that Triple H's position with WWE is currently in jeopardy or that he's already been removed from his creative role. WWE hasn't released an official statement yet, which honestly makes the story feel more legitimate because they're probably scrambling to figure out how to handle this public relations nightmare. And John Cena hasn't said a word publicly, which is very unlike him when controversy strikes. Think about the implications if this is true. Triple H rebuilt WWE's creative direction. He's the reason fans trust the product again. He's the reason long-term storytelling exists. If he's really gone, who takes over? Do they bring in someone new? Does Vince McMahon somehow get involved again? Does this open the door for people like Bruce Pritchard or other WWE veterans to seize power? The entire landscape of WWE could shift overnight because of one match. And let's talk about Gunther for a second, because he's caught in the middle of this chaos. The man's one of the most talented wrestlers on the planet. His ring general character is perfect. His in-ring work is brutal and beautiful. He doesn't deserve to have his biggest win tainted by backstage politics and controversy. If Triple H really did force this finish and it cost him his job, Gunther's victory is now forever linked to corporate drama instead of being celebrated as a passing of the torch moment. Then there's the bigger question about John Cena's retirement tour. If this report is true and Cena was treated like this at Saturday night's main event, how does WWE make it right? Do they give him a massive WrestleMania moment to compensate? Do they have him win the 17th World Championship everyone's been speculating about? Or does this sour relationship mean Cena's retirement tour gets cut short, and he walks away earlier than planned? The man's got acting commitments, he's got other opportunities, and if WWE isn't going to respect his legacy, why should he stick around? There's also the locker room dynamic to consider. If multiple top stars really did go to management about this, it shows that WWE's talent has more power than we thought. It shows that even the booker, even Triple H himself, can be held accountable when the roster turns against a decision. That's fascinating from a business perspective because it suggests TKO is willing to listen to talent concerns and make changes, even drastic ones, to keep the peace. But let's play devil's advocate for a moment. What if Triple H was right? What if having Gunther demolish John Cena was exactly what WWE needed to establish the new era? Wrestling's always been about building new stars, and sometimes you have to sacrifice legends to do it. Stone Cold Steve Austin beat Jake the Snake Roberts to establish himself. The Rock beat Ken Shamrock to cement his status. Brock Lesnar ended The Undertaker's WrestleMania streak. Shocking moments that hurt in the present but pay off in the future. Maybe Triple H was thinking 5 years ahead, and everyone else was thinking about protecting Cena's feelings. The problem with that logic is timing. If this was 3 years ago, if Cena was still active full-time, maybe you could justify it. But this is during his retirement tour, a sacred period in wrestling where you're supposed to give back, put over some younger guys but also have your moments, and ride off into the sunset with dignity. Having him get destroyed sends a message that WWE doesn't care about legacy, only about what's next. And that's a dangerous message to send to guys like Randy Orton, AJ Styles, and others who are approaching the end of their careers. Social media's been absolutely exploding since this news broke. Wrestling Twitter is divided into camps. Some people are defending Triple H, saying he's a genius who understands storytelling better than anyone. Others are crucifying him, saying he let his ego get in the way of good business. John Cena's name has been trending worldwide. Gunther's name is trending. Triple H's name is trending. And WWE's name is trending, which from a publicity standpoint might actually be exactly what they wanted, even if it's for controversial reasons. Here's the thing that makes this whole situation so fascinating. Wrestling is fake, right? It's predetermined. But the backstage politics, the corporate maneuvering, the egos, the power struggles, that's all real. And when the real-life drama becomes more compelling than the scripted drama, that's when wrestling becomes absolutely must-watch television. Whether you love Triple H or hate him, whether you think Cena should have won or Gunther needed the victory, you cannot look away from this story. And that's exactly why you need to stay subscribed to this channel, because we're going to follow every development, every rumor, every official statement that comes out about this situation. If Triple H really is gone, we'll break down what it means for WWE's future. If this whole thing gets resolved and he keeps his job, we'll analyze how he survived. And when the truth finally comes out about what really happened at Saturday night's main event, you'll hear it here first. The wrestling business has always been about moments. Iconic moments that define eras and change everything. Stone Cold Stunning Vince McMahon, the Montreal Screwjob, CM Punk's pipe bomb, Daniel Bryan's WrestleMania moment. And now, potentially, the night Triple H got fired for booking John Cena to lose to Gunther. Whether this becomes a legendary story or a forgotten controversy depends on what happens next. But right now, in this moment, the entire wrestling world is watching, waiting, and wondering what the hell is going to happen to WWE. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you think Triple H deserved to get fired? Should John Cena have won? Is Gunther the future or just a pawn in a political game? And most importantly, where does WWE go from here? Let's discuss, because this story is far from over, and something tells me the real hardcore highlights are still to come.